Good morning, everybody. We're here at Genesis of Gautier, Jason Pilger Hyundai, doing a first look and review of the all-new 2019 Genesis G70. First impressions are, man, what a car. You know, the most packed market today is probably the entry-level luxury sedan, and a lot of people thought that Genesis was taking a shot over the bow with this G70, getting into a more sport model. But I'll tell you what, after sitting in this thing and taking a test drive, I don't think it was a shot over the bow, more so than it was a haymaker right to the face of the competition. It's always been the established German triumvirate that has dominated this market, and that's the Audi A4, the BMW 3 Series, and the Mercedes C-Class. So when we look at that market that Genesis is stepping into here, a lot of people may say there's no way that you can get into that market competitively as far as value and quality and price point goes. I'm here today to tell you why that's not exactly true. So please like, share this video, and if you guys want, after this one, we can look at the G80 and the G90 also. When you sit down in this car and you take your first look around, the quality is just immaculate. The infotainment system is beautiful. Everything is built perfectly. The trim is gorgeous. It sits low. The car almost wraps you into the driver's seat when you sit down in it. We'll say that there may be a tad bit to desire in the legroom in the back, but it's still not far off of the competition in that class. But as far as fit and finish here with technology, they've really upped their game here. I want to say almost redefined the class when they made this model. This is the G70 2.0T Advanced. This is going to come with a 2.0 liter turbocharged inline-4, which is common for that market. As far as horsepower offering goes in this vehicle, at 252, it tops the entry-level horsepower in that class and does so at a price point of $36,000, which is also the lowest in that class. So I know you don't want to sit here and hear all these details. We're going to fire this thing up. We're going to take a test drive. Then we're going to come back and we're going to take a look at the exterior as well. So let's go ahead and buckle up and get ready to get on the road. First thing you see with the push button start, it's going to go through the system check, and it sounds great when you crank it up. Again, the infotainment system, great, tons of features here. You can do your Apple CarPlay, your Android Auto. You have remote starting capabilities in this vehicle, so on a morning like this when it's cold, which is why we're starting in the interior, you can tell Alexa to go ahead and start your car and what temperature you want it to be when you get in it, and it's going to be ready for you. We've got dual zone up front, obviously, as you would expect in a vehicle like this. Also in the rear, you've got control there, auto, or you can sync it together, do it individually split, however you want to. So we're going to go ahead and take this thing out on the road. We do have 5 different drive modes in this vehicle. We have a sport, a comfort mode, an economy, and a smart mode. So this thing can really be as toned down or aggressive as you want it. Handles a little bit. They do come standard with the paddle shifters on the wheel. Also, if you want to drive it that way, you can. Take a look and see how this thing handles to us. Get it out of park, and we're ready to go. The sound of this vehicle is really good. It's warm, it's got a good tone to it, but it's not overpowering. And when you get into it, you don't have a lot of the cracks and pops that you get out of a lot of competitor vehicles in this market. Again, the 2.0 turbocharged 4-cylinder is fairly common in this market, but at 252 horses, Genesis has dominated in the horsepower offering of this car. Now, if that's not quite enough, if you're wanting something a little more sporty, they do offer a 3.3T that'll get you in over 300 horsepower. And again, dominate the market class at that price point as well. The trim, fit, and finish in this thing is beyond beautiful. And I can tell now, you know, at this standard highway speed of about 50 miles an hour, the steering is very tight, very responsive, which you would hope to get But a lot of times in competitor vehicles at this point, you know, there's still some slop a little bit to be desired there, but overall the feel is great, the ride's good, and it handles really well. Again, if you're wanting something a little more sporty and we want to get into the 3.3T, you get a little more upgrade on the tuning of the suspension. You also get into Brembo brakes at that point. And it's a beautiful car as well. If you guys would like to see one of those, like I said before, just leave me a comment and tell me which one of the Genesis line you'd like to see next. And what I do like about this vehicle, what really impresses me, which I should have expected coming from this manufacturer, is the warranty. It's going to trump the competition hands down in the powertrain, the factory bumper to bumper, and the maintenance warranty is what's really phenomenal. Even at this price point, Genesis is going to take care of all your maintenance cost, all your routine maintenance, 3 years, 36,000 miles. If we get into a BMW 3 Series or a Mercedes C-Class, you get one routine maintenance visit back to the dealership, and then that's it. These guys are going to cover your routine maintenance costs, 3 years, 36,000 miles. If you'd like to come see us at Jason Pilger Genesis of Goshen, we get you a powertrain warranty for life through JD Power with the purchase of this vehicle. That's at no cost to you. We do that for our customers. So we're going to come up here and we're going to make a turn around and put this thing in sport mode and see what it's really capable of doing. Again, you can see here on the dash through the display driver's assistance you have. You can look at any setting that you wanted to on this vehicle there or through the infotainment up top. Everything's compact, new. The technology is great in this vehicle. You've got your USB and auxiliary chargers down here. Again, you can do voice command navigation if you would opt to, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and the beauty is these are factory features in this vehicle where it's going to be optioned upgrades when you deal with the competition. So we're going to go ahead now, get out of this mode, and we're going to switch down into sport. We do that with just the turn of a knob down here, so it's real easy and near about hands-free. I'm going to give a second to let some of the traffic get ahead of us, and now that we're in sports mode, we want to test it, but we want to be safe. You can already feel that it's more responsive and even tightened up a little bit more on the steering. So coming here at a 20-mile-an-hour roll with a green light and clear traffic, sorry Jason, we're gonna go ahead and see what we can do. Immediately when you get into it at a 30-mile-an-hour, wow, there's so again, also dominates the competition in 0 to 60 time. You know, when you can get into the 3.3T that does 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. But this model, even the 2.0 Advanced, is just ridiculously quick off the showroom floor, and again, a horsepower offering that you're not going to find anywhere in the class. So if we compare this thing to, say, a BMW 3 Series, you know, the 320i has nearly an identical sticker price, but at 180 horsepower. You know, you get 252 in this vehicle, a warranty that's 3 times better, and no offense to the Beamer guys out there, the 320 doesn't even have a spare tire. Who's gonna buy a luxury sedan that doesn't even have a spare tire? I could spend time comparing this vehicle to the 320, but that's not really a fair fight. I almost feel bad doing that. You would have to get into the 330 for sure to even get a close comparison, and even then we still dominate with horsepower even at that market. The warranty and the price point is almost $6,000 lower on this vehicle. If we want to ease over to Mercedes and you were going to get into the 300, you'd have to get into a 4MATIC to get to this horsepower level, and at that point you're dealing with a sticker that's almost $10,000 higher than what this one is. So I don't understand what the big deal is, and I'll try to stay on Santa's nice list since we're this close to Christmas, and say that I know there's a lot of people out there that might be brand aware. some people would just say badge snobs, but I don't want to be insulting to people. And you might say there's no way that Genesis is going to make a name and stay around in this market. What a lot of people fail to remember is that, you know, in 89 up into the mid 90s, Lexus was sitting in this point right here, making their entry into the market. And I don't think anybody would question the credibility or stability of a Lexus. So I think they've done a fantastic job with their offering into this sports sedan model. And I tell you, if you're looking for real luxury, you know, the 80 and 90 also, which hopefully we'll find time to get a video out on those as well. If you've got any questions, please go ahead and post them down there for me. I'd love to answer it. And like I said, the car that you're looking at right now, the one that we just test drove, and the fit and finish you see right here, has a sticker that's less than $37,000. You're not going to find that anywhere else. I mean, people pay that for a loaded out Toyota Camry. And there's no comparison here with those. We're going to get back into the dealership, and I want to give you a look at the exterior of this vehicle as well, because I was really impressed with some of the things that Genesis was able to do with the exterior of this vehicle and stay in the price point that they were able to stay in. So we'll get pulled up here and go ahead and get the ignition turned off and let you guys have a look around the outside. So also, the first look at the exterior of this vehicle says, wow, and that's about it. I love what they've done with the grille here, widened it out, and you see the headlight contour design there, which is Genesis, their path forward in the upcoming years. The grille looks great. You see the wings there on the hood, which is their trademark, their Hall of Fame. The side profile on this vehicle is gorgeous. It really is. The design, the way it flows, it stays rounded off, where in this class, this model, you see a lot of boxiness sometimes, and I'm just not a real big fan of that. As we come around to the rear of the vehicle, again, just that slanted back and rounded body style follows throughout. It almost sits back and squats in the rear, so it gives you that aggressive look if that's what you're going for, and they do so classy. You know, it's gorgeous. It's not selling perfection here, you know, everything has its ups and downs. If I had to find a negative about this vehicle, it would probably be in the trunk. It is a little bit smaller, probably 2 cubic feet less than what you'll see in a lot of the competitors' model offerings. But again, if you're not in it for a bunch of trunk space, then what does that matter anyhow? It's not a small trunk at all, but again, just being honest, maybe a touch smaller than some of the competitors. But again, just a walk around, beautiful vehicle. They'll cover your maintenance, all your routine maintenance, 3 years, 36,000 miles. And then again, JD Power powertrain warranty for life here in Goshen. You can take a look at the rear seats. You've got room back here, so again, a 5-seater. The fit and finish here is gorgeous as well. And what I was saying before, you do have your rear AC, which unfortunately is not standard in all vehicles of this class, but it is standard, you know, with the G70, the 2.0T, and that's just the forward-looking console view. I know in the front seat it may have been a little difficult to see some of that, but just the layout of this vehicle is gorgeous. Again, 252 horsepower in this base 2.0 turbocharged 4-cylinder. The 3.3T, even more than that. Infotainment system is great. You know, Android, Apple, any way you would want to do it, you have the option of doing it in this vehicle. So try to showcase the pros of this new G70 instead of spending the entire video focused on why it just completely demolishes the competition in the 3 Series sedan market. But it does. Like I said, with a price point starting $36,000, you're not going to find this much vehicle, this nice trim, this kind of finish anywhere else. And it steps up the line. You know, we offer 5 makes of this one. We do have this in a sport model with a 6-speed manual transmission. If you're a save the manual kind of guy, then we can get all of these in rear wheel or optional all-wheel drive. And again, getting into the 3.3 sport model, we get into leather seating that's piped and stitched with tuned out suspension and over 360 horsepower with that one. And we can get you into those depending on the fit and finish. At the highest price tag they offer is $50, and that's completely loaded out, something that would compete with the BMW 340 or possibly the C300, and you're still getting it at a much better price point with a much better warranty, a whole lot more vehicle. So hopefully I've been able to answer some of your questions today about why you would entertain this. I think after this review, the question is, why would you not? So again, if there's something else you want to see, any questions you have, or if you would like to see a review like this on the G80 and the G90, just leave me a comment below and we'll try to set that up over the next few days. I hope you enjoyed this test drive, and again, if there's anything we can do for you, call me or any of the guys here at Jason Pilger in Goshen or in Atmore, Alabama, and we'd love to take care of you. So on behalf of all the guys, we'd like to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and New Year's to you and yours.